Hello friends, do you love tea and natural wellness products as much as I do? I've partnered with Positively Tea and Positively Botanicals, and I can honestly say I drink their organic loose leaf tea almost every day, and I love it. From organic teas to natural remedies, they offer high-quality products that support a healthy, mindful lifestyle. When you shop through my affiliate link, you not only discover amazing products for yourself, but you also help support the podcast. Visit the link in the show notes to explore their selections today. And for you coffee lovers, they have you covered as well. Treat yourself, support the show, and keep connecting with the natural world. Hello friends, and welcome to the Forest Connection. I'm so thankful that you joined me again today. Be sure to invite some friends with you next time. And I'm out in the woods hiking right now. I should say walking, going for a stroll. And I just noticed in the past week or two that I'm getting more stressed. I just have been, I've been in a fog. I mean, with the holidays, everything gets so busy and stressful. And then it's that time of year, cold, dreary, hardly any sunshine here in Western New York. It's really a depressing time for a lot of people. And I always find myself around this time of year getting a little bit stressed. I can feel, the stress building up in me. And that's when I know it's like, I got to get back into the woods. I need to connect with nature again because that always relaxes me. It always gets me back on track. It gets my focus back in order. So that's what I'm doing today. I just finally found some time. The weather, actually, we're in a little bit of a warm up here, and that's why you may hear some slopping. A lot of slush on the trails. The snow is starting to melt. We had some rain yesterday, a little bit of rain today too, this morning. But it's supposed to get a little colder early next week. But that's why I decided I'm out here in the woods. I'm just going to go for a walk. I'm going to enjoy looking at the trees, listening for birds. Unfortunately, it's afternoon because I did have to teach today. And as you said, after teaching, I was going to come out in the woods. And so that's where I am. I'm out in the woods. But I needed this. And I hope you do the same. Even if it's hard to get out in the woods, wintertime is tough, I know. Wintertime, we all start hibernating, which we're not supposed to do. I'm always stressing to people, don't hibernate. I just came to an area in the woods here that there's a bunch of spots that are bare, dug up. You can see the snow's melted there. So this is a place where the deer have bedded down last night. There's several spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's probably about 15. Off in the distance, I can see a few more. Probably between 15 and 20 deer were here. At least that's what it looks like to me, unless they've been using it every night and using different spots. But so, anyhow, this time of year, we have a lot going on with the holidays, and that gets to people, plus the lack of sunshine, the shorter days, more nights, the colder weather, so it's harder to get outside. You have lots of winds. We've had some windstorms. I had a tree come down in my yard. It was leaning against my house. Don't worry, no one was hurt. The house was not damaged to any bad extent. But, it's just a dark, dreary time of year. And a lot of people get depressed. So I'm a strong believer in, you already know this if you're listening to the podcast, strong believer in nature healing us, and connecting with nature will heal you. Scientifically proven. So I encourage you, get out. And this is another problem with this time of year. We hibernate. We don't want to get out. And I find myself doing that sometimes, even though I try not to. I do find myself hibernating. I won't be in the woods as often as I am during the summer. And I wanted to talk a little bit about forest bathing in the winter. If you haven't listened to my forest bathing episode, listen to it. There's a lot of different ways to forest bathe, and most people think, oh, winter's here, okay, I'll wait till summer till I go out forest bathing. But no, you can forest bathe in the winter too, and that's what I want to talk about today. Now, I know a lot of people in the wintertime, they just don't want to be outdoors. Yeah, like I said, you got shorter days. But because of those shorter days and the cloudiness and the lack of sunshine, our bodies actually start to crave that sunlight. We start to crave it to the point where, we need that vitamin D. And it's messing with our immune system. It's messing with our stress levels. And so we really need to get out. Now, winter hiking, it's trickier than summer hiking. You have to watch your footing. You have to dress properly. I'm not going to get into all of that. And on the Nature Wanderer, I do have a winter hiking episode. So how to hike safely in the winter time. Listen to that if you want to know more about how to dress and all. I'm actually on a slight incline here. Should say decline. I'm going downhill. So I'm going to go a little bit slow here. I'm watching my step. But anyhow, so you do have to prepare for a winter hike. You have to be ready for it, but not just physically, mentally too, because it is colder out here. It is different. You do get tired quicker because you are going through the snow, especially if you have deep snow. You're wearing heavier clothes. You're wearing heavy boots on your feet. I knew it was melting. I should have brought my crampons so in case I run into any ice. But so far it's been pretty good. No ice yet. So it's different. But guess what? So is the forest. Yeah, the forest is different in the winter as well. I mean, you don't have the leaves on the trees. You can see the sky. You can see birds sitting up in the trees easier. You can see the animals. You can see animal tracks easier. There's a stillness in the air. Today is kind of cool because it's a little bit warm. It got above freezing, and there's snow still on the ground, and it's like there's a real fog. Yeah, it's almost like the forest right now is hazy. So it's very still. And all I'm hearing right now is the creek that I've been walking next to. I'm not hearing any birds. It's just very still. Now, I'm headed towards a spot that I just want to stop and just enjoy for a while. See, forest bathing in the winter time isn't like walking or hiking through the woods. It's more doing sit spots. So you need to dress a little bit warmer because you are going to just be sitting for a while. Now I'm going to be crossing the creek here, so I'm going to pay a little closer attention to my footing. There we go. Okay, so you have to dress a little bit warmer because you are going to be sitting still. When you're not moving, you can chill down a little bit quicker. And this is actually the spot I wanted to just stop. Now, if you are doing an actual sit spot, okay, you may want to bring a blanket along. Maybe you want to build a small fire. I'm in a county park, so I'm not going to do that, and I didn't bring my fire building equipment with me. Maybe you want a little stove to keep you warm. Bring some tea. Bring your ceremonial tea. You can drink some during your sit spot just to keep yourself warm. Bring an extra blanket, some extra gloves. Bring some hand warmers. So anything you can to keep yourself warm while you're doing your sit spot. And you may be wondering, oh, but I can't sit still. It's funny because I'm the same way. I cannot sit still. And it's funny because a lot of times people who stay in one place, something suspicious about that. Yeah, it's just not the norm. I wrote a story in a book about a guy who, he was camping in, I can't remember which park it was. I think it was Canyonlands National Park. And him and a buddy were camping in the park, and his buddy came there every single year, same time of year, and just camped there for several days. And this time, you know, they came there and they were just enjoying being with nature, you know, enjoying nature. And some park rangers came by and started harassing them. You know, it's like, okay, why are you here? You're here every year, we saw on your permits in same time, and you know, it's like they thought they were, you know, causing trouble because it's not the norm. People want to move. They always want to be moving. They always want to be on the go. So it's hard for people to stop sometimes. It's hard for me to stop sometimes. My wife was blown away when we went to Costa Rica. We went to Costa Rica last October, and we stayed in 3 different places. And we wanted to just check out the country. We've never been there before. We wanted to check out some of the sites, but we're not big on the touristy areas. We never have been big on being the tourists like a lot of other people. So what we did is we just stayed in these 3 areas that we wanted to check out. Now, the first place we stayed was, the second place was the one that really blew my wife's mind, that I could sit there so long, so still. We went to a place called Ohokol, and it's an expat community. We had a nice little house there with a pool, and the temperatures were beautiful. It was a small place, but that's okay. They had a big back patio, so we were at the end of rainy season, a lot of rain. We didn't go out and do a lot. We just stayed there. There were days we never left the Airbnb. And my wife just couldn't believe I could do that, that I could sit still. And honestly, I couldn't believe that I could do that either. So it's funny because a lot of people don't get it. They want to be on the move. They want to see as much as they can, but you sometimes miss a lot by being on the move. Being in that one place, we got to know the place. We got to know the people. We got to know the wildlife. I mean, it's like every morning I knew that the hummingbirds were going to come around. I got to see a walking stick that literally was about 8 inches long. I got to see a grasshopper. Now, I see a lot of grasshoppers, but this one, I'm not exaggerating, he was probably about, I'm going to say probably about 8 inches long. He was huge. Some of the, you know, other animals, some of the birds we saw there. And I knew, you know, watching the mountains right behind our place, it's like I knew when the fog was going to come in each morning. I knew when it was going to leave in the afternoon. I got to know what the weather was going to do. I got to know what everything in the area was going to do because I stayed put. We did go, I don't remember what area we were in, but we did go to this one rainforest at one point. And we decided, we could walk it alone or we could go with a guided hike, and we chose the guided walk. Our guide actually had a guest with him. It was a college student who had been studying rainforests and ecology, and the two of them were leading our group, which was maybe about 10 people, 10, 12 people. It wasn't a large group. And we were walking on the trails through this rainforest, and there were other trail leaders out there and other groups out there. And we would pass them every once in a while. But I'm looking around, I'm seeing all these beautiful sights in the trees and just soaking it all in. I was loving it. And it's like the leader, our tour guide, he every once in a while would stop and he's like, oh, yeah, there's bunch of bats up on that tree up there, and he'd get out a spotting scope, set it up, and show us the bats. And it's like, oh, there's a macaw over in that tree, and he'd set up a spotting scope, and we would look through it and see it. And it's like we were seeing all these things that if I had been walking alone, I would never seen them. How did he know where they were? He's there every single day. He's been doing this for years. He knows that place because he doesn't move on. He's always there, and he gets to know it. It gets to know him. He starts to become one with that forest. The one thing that really blew me away is we were just standing there talking about, an area, and all of a sudden his assistant, this college student, she's like, oh, there's a glass frog over there. And I'm like, what? And she set up her spotting scope. He set up his, and he's looking. He didn't even see it. Our tour guide, he didn't even see it. But she saw. And this guy who was with us on this hike, he had this long lens camera, and he finally spotted and got some pictures. And even this guy, who is obviously good at photography, he looked at this intern, and it's like, I can't believe you saw that. How on earth did you spot that? And she just knew where to look because she knew the forest. This tiny little frog, only about 2 inches, it's clear. That's why they call it a glass frog. And it was sitting on this leaf, and it had babies, eggs on, not babies, but eggs on the back that were also clear. It's like, it was amazing. Luckily, the tour guide got a picture on my wife's camera. Mine didn't work as well, but got a picture through the spotting scope of this glass frog, and it's really awesome to see. And it's like, that's because they got to know the place. They didn't necessarily have to do a sit spot, but they spent enough time there where they got to know the area. They got to know where things were. They got to know the forest. They got to know everything about the forest, where things were. He would go along, and it's like, oh yeah, this is a spot where we usually spot the yellow vipers. And it's like, what? And we're looking in the trees, and we're trying to spot them. And one of the times, there was actually one of the hikers, one of the guests, I guess, of one of us, not the tour guide, but he spotted something in the tree, and all of a sudden the tour guide is like, oh, okay, yeah, that's an iguana, and he's talking all about the iguana, and I'm trying to see it, and he finally set up his spotting scope on it, and before I got to go to a spotting scope, I did notice it finally. You just saw the head poking out. But it's like, yeah, I would have missed all these things. We got to see a viper sitting up in the tree, not one of the yellow ones. This was one that really blended in. It was tough to spot. But he knew where he usually sees them. We were walking along, and there was these logs down on the ground with holes in them. And he kept stopping and looking in the holes, and he says, oh, yep, there's one. And it's like, there's one what? He says, a tarantula. I'm okay. So we looked in this hole with a flashlight, which he kept doing every once in a while. He would look in the holes with flashlights. And sure enough, there's a tarantula. looking out at us. So all of these are because he got to know the spot. And so many people, I'm included, we don't take the time to just stop and get to know the spot. I mean, I'm sitting here and I like this spot. It's one of my favorite spots to just stop in the forest here. Every once in a while you can hear a little bit of the road noise depending on how big the truck is that's going by. But there's a tree here that has it's a dead tree. It's got a slit in the bark and it's hollow inside. And every time I come here, I explore this tree a little more. In the summertime, it's wonderful. You've got insects crawling and eating away at it. Every once in a while, I'll come and there's a woodpecker on it. But I've gotten to know this section of the forest. I've gotten to know this area. And I like it next to the creek because I've gotten to know the creek too. So this is something I want you to try, is doing a winter sit spot. And once again, you know, if it's way too cold, don't do it, please. Okay? I don't want you, you know, any harm coming to you. I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay warm. Know the signs of frostbite. Know when you're starting to get chilled, and then, you know, get up and move on. Make sure you dress appropriately too. Bring something to sit on, or like I'm doing today. I didn't bring a lot with me because I was coming from my program. And so today I'm just here standing in my spot. But I'm still considering it a sit spot because, and after I do my talk here, I'm going to explore a little bit more right here in one place and get to know this place. There's actually this tree, and like I said, it's been warming up, and there's little droplets. And if you look at the droplet, you can actually see the trees behind it, or the twigs behind it. They're reflecting in the drop of water on the branches. So it's pretty interesting to see that. But I will come back to the same spot over and over, and I'll stop and just explore new things. And it seems like every time I'm here, I see something new. And this is what I encourage you to do. And maybe you're not an outdoors type in the winter. That's fine too. If you don't want to go outdoors, you don't want to dress up and try to, you know, stay warm, there's something else you can do. You can just watch out your window. Do an indoor sit spot. Find a window that faces the woods or some aspect of nature. If you live in the middle of a city or a village, or, you know, where there's a lot of people around, a lot of traffic or whatever, that's fine too. Hopefully you have a bird feeder, or you have some sort of wilderness, as small as it is, maybe a tree or a bush in your backyard, maybe some plants. And even in the winter, watch for the birds coming to there. Maybe set up a microphone. They make these outdoor microphones, and it hooks up to a speaker indoors, so that you can listen to the outside birds without opening your window in the winter time. So you can do an indoor sit spot. Just sit there in a comfortable chair. Maybe wrap yourself in a blanket, have a cup of tea or hot cocoa, and just absorb nature and observe it every day. Sit there. It doesn't have to be long. Longer the better. And if I wasn't talking so much, a lot of times when I'm just standing here, I'm just quiet listening to everything. I'll have some wildlife come by. Maybe a deer go down to the creek next to me. So you may start noticing more. And the more you're there, the more you start to notice. I'm always noticing new things, like I said, whenever I'm here. And what I like to do, one of the ways to get to notice it, notice what this place is offering you, connecting with the nature around you, connecting with the forest, is to close your eyes. Yeah. I mean, I always start out with my, take a deep breath, let it all out, you know, just relax, take it easy. And then start noticing what you're hearing. Like I said, I'm not hearing any birds right now. It's very quiet. It was windy earlier, but the wind has stopped. I'm noticing the creek, the stream that's running past. and how it's got a different tone a little bit further down to my left than it does right next to me. The way it's hitting the ice and the snow, the way it's hitting the rocks makes a different sound, different tone. With my eyes closed, my ears are picking up more of the intricacies of sound in this section of the woods. And you can smell the winter. You can smell the leaves, the rotting leaves a little bit too. Yeah, because like I said, it's thawed. I'm going to get a little closer too. There's a little stream coming into the bigger stream. And it's just full of leaves and mud. And yeah, I can smell that. There are some pine trees near me, and I can smell those too, so I'm smelling the pine. Yeah, so use your other senses. Start picking up on these things. Maybe pick up an object if there's something sticking up out of the snow. I've got a leaf here, dead leaf, that's been just sitting on the, I should call it a resting leaf. But no, it is dead. And I'm going to pick it up off the snow, and I'm just going to feel it, touch it. Maybe you've got a rock, maybe the tree. I've got a tree here too. It feels wet and cold. You can feel the knobs on it. Start connecting with things. Start studying it. You can open your eyes and look at the tree, the little knobs all over it. Some of the lichens that are on this tree. It means the air is pretty fresh here. It's very cloudy today, but if you have some sunshine, maybe watch the shadows. Look at the shadows. See what they're doing. See how the shadows, how they're moving over time, how they're catching on different aspects of the woods. You know, how's it changing the feel of the woods? Feel textures around you. And the last thing is, how does it make you feel? Yeah, I mean, I've been out here for probably about a half an hour now. I already feel more relaxed. Yeah, like I said, I really, really needed this. And when you start feeling stressed, same thing. Get out in the woods and start feeling the relaxation. Feeling the woods, the forest, nature. Feel the connection to it and feel how it relaxes you, how it makes you feel. So I encourage you this time of year, any time of year, but especially in the winter, don't let the stress get to you. Don't let the long nights get to you. You know, don't let the holiday season and the rush and the craziness of the holidays, don't let that get to you. Let it relax you instead by getting out in nature and doing a sit spot or do an indoor sit spot. At least get some nature back in your lives. Like I said, I've been so busy I have not gotten out to walk in a while. So I'm really enjoying this, and I'm almost out of time. I just wanted to make sure that I showed you and hopefully encouraged you to get out and just stop and get to know an area, a spot. It doesn't have to be a big spot, just any spot. Maybe get to know your backyard better if you don't want to travel far, or a local park, or a forested area. You know, get to know it better, all times of the year. Go to that same spot. I was here in the summer. I know what it's like in the summer, and the spring, and the fall, and the winter. So I have gotten to know this part of the woods, this section, my little sit spot section here. I've gotten to know it. And yeah, you will get, in the winter time, there's not as much as a buffer. You will sometimes get some noise. I'm hearing a little more of the road noise now. Well, I'm going to let you get going. I've talked long enough, and I want you to start your sit spot adventure. So I hope you enjoyed listening today. Be certain to share the podcast with your nature-loving friends so that they too can learn more about the natural world and how to connect with the natural world. If you'd like to support the podcast, visit the show notes for a link to my Ko-Fi page or my merch store. You can also support the podcast by purchasing awesome items in the online merch store. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Please stop back next week for another episode of The Forest Connection, and keep connecting with nature. Hello friends, I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. Keep exploring the nature around you and keep journaling all your wanderings. Hey there, fellow nature wanderers. If you're like me, you love spending time outdoors, breathing in that fresh air and connecting with the natural world. But at home, have you ever thought about what's in the products you use every single day? That's why I'm excited to share Apple Valley Natural Soap with you. Their handcrafted all-natural soaps are made with organic ingredients, essential oils, and no harsh chemicals. Awesome! So they're not only great for your skin, but they're safe for the planet. And they don't just stop at soap. Apple Valley Natural Soap also carries a full line of natural skincare products, including shampoos, body butters, facial bars, and more. All designed to nourish your skin without synthetic ingredients. You can't beat that. That's just awesome. Whether you're hiking in the woods or just winding down after a long day, their products bring a little bit of nature right into your home. And the best part? By supporting Apple Valley Natural Soap through The Nature Wanderer, you're also supporting this podcast. Just head to the show notes and click on the link for Apple Valley Natural Soap. So go ahead, treat yourself and the environment to something better. Your skin and Mother Nature will thank you. Now let's get on with our adventure.